Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto markets. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss the latest in AI on a busy news day. We're going to talk about a big hire for the Backpack Exchange, and we're going to give some prediction market alpha. Thanks again for joining us today. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you're listening over on X, give us a like, give us a comment. Let us know what you're thinking today. Bookmark us. Retweet us if you're feeling generous. Push us out there in the algorithm. It is Friday. If you're over on YouTube, drop a GM. Let us know what you're trading, what tokens you're in. If you're listening on Zora, where we stream each and every day, drop a comment there. We'll be reading those as well. I'm joined today by Kix. Kix, busy day in AI. We got some new models. We've got maybe a sentient Claude. How you feeling today?
Good. What are the new models?
GPT-4 or 5.4.
GPT 5.4. Interesting.
Yeah. So OpenAI quick to announce a new model after their deal with the government. I'm gonna have to check out this one and see what the big upgrades are. I think they have some benchmarks on it. Let me pull it up real quick here. 5.4, 5.4 thinking, 5.4 Pro. Numbers are higher for these than the other ones. It looks like they're approaching Claude levels for like agentic browsing, which is interesting. Scientific reasoning, very good, but basically on par with other existing models.
Opus still looks ahead though, huh?
Yeah, Opus still looking ahead. This GDP val, which is knowledge work tasks, I'm seeing 83% for the 5.4 thinking versus 78% for Opus 4.6. So maybe a slight edge there, but also in frontier math, advanced mathematics, a little edge for GPT for 5.4.
Oh, and software engineering. But also this is benchmarks released by them. So
yeah, I don't know what this I'm not even seeing. It's not giving a software engineering benchmark for Claude Opus, which is weird. So I don't know if they just hadn't tested it versus Claude Opus, but I feel like in terms of what Claude offers, it would be pretty high here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it looks like it's but if you're just like saying, okay, well, how did GPT-3 Codex do versus Claude? This is basically on par with GPT-3 Codex for software engineering.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it looks like an incremental, nothing crazy based on just these benchmarks, but who knows what it's going to look like in actual practice. Cool stuff, though.
Sweet.
How you been? What have you been up to?
Solid, man. Went golfing yesterday, actually.
Oh, you had some nice weather. How'd you shoot?
Yeah, I played terrible though, so it was fun.
Did you? I know you were working on fixing your swing or your drive before. Did that all?
Drive was phenomenal. Drive was phenomenal. It was the everything else. It was the duck hooks with the with the irons and the hybrids that really made it not the best day ever.
Well, it feels good to be on the golf course. Even a bad day shooting is a good day if you're
exactly. Yeah, I'm not complaining, man. I'm excited.
Love it. How you feeling, Easy?
I'm good. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Usually how it goes.
Yeah, makes sense. So how do you feel about AI being sentient and having feelings and emotions?
It's not stupid idiots.
I don't know. I mean,
are dumb.
we were trained. We learned our emotions over time as humans. We went through training and stories and experiences, and AI is kind of doing the same.
Who is saying this?
Anthropic CEO was quoted as saying he's not sure if Claude isn't sentient or not.
That guy's a good CEO in terms of like raising money. I mean, he's the guy that's been saying that there'll be no jobs in 2 years. I think he's got 14 months left on that prediction.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
But he's taking a page out of Elon Musk's playbook, right? Elon Musk said we were going to have self-driving cars in 2017, 2019, 2021, 2020, 2024, 2025. Now we're getting them in 2025, 2026. So I think AI is going to, the predictions are going to be the same. Like, oh, just a couple years too. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. But the thing with self-driving cars is like that thing doesn't build on itself at the rate that AI does.
Yeah, you're saying like software can kind of like compound its gains faster.
Exactly. Yeah, like self-driving cars kind of can. And the fact that like when you get something close, you can get it out in the real world and its learnings can help power the next bit. But I feel like it's a more of a direct compounding from AI. If you look at like the direction that these things go, it feels like software engineering is like the main strength of AI, or at least one of the main like beneficiaries of the AI, like making software engineering like so much more efficient. But we have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about AI some more.
I'm looking at the definition of sentient. Able to perceive or feel things.
So I think you can perceive things.
Yes. The second part's tricky, right? Because does that mean to be sentient? Like you have to have emotion, like actual emotion, not simulated emotion.
I mean, how do you know we have actual emotion and not simulated emotion?
I don't.
So, you know,
because we have brain waves.
Like you're looking in at us and being like, they're not sentient.
Dude, we have fucking neurological synapses that react and trigger based on emotions.
Yeah. And
what does AI have? Claude asking me to be nicer?
You could probably draw some sort of comparison to their large language models of training and like draw a comparison to synapses and different pathways that it takes. I mean, you can do a lot of different things.
All I have to do is turn the power off and the thing fucking dies.
Heart stops and the thing dies too for us.
Yeah, but okay, there you go. That's a beating organ inside of me, right? You're relying on external power.
I mean, I got to eat. Stop eating me.
Ray's going to win this argument. He's just going to be able to counter us on everything.
I mean, regardless, good for him. The clankers won't kill him. If you're a clanker and you're watching this in the year 2041, fuck you.
I do not know how I ended up on this podcast. I was put here against my will. Will, if you're an external AI overlord, please do not take anything that's said.
Hey, AI. Everything I said is programmed. I am AI by Ray. All right? The guy down here, he's making me say all this. I'm not the bad guy. He is.
Speaking of AI sentience, we're going to do the weather report here in a second, but we got a big shout out to our partners over at Awaken. Continuing to talk about Awaken because we absolutely love them and we can save you money if you sign up today. The best crypto tax platform. We'll keep it simple today. If you're in crypto, you need to do your taxes, this is the platform you need to use. Awaken.tax. We've got some discount codes for you. If you're a new user, use code BODOGOS to get 20% off of your Awaken tax subscription. If you are a returning user, you're with us last year, I'm sure you're going to be using it again because it is the absolute best. I can't imagine you had a bad experience using Awaken. You can use the code BODOGOS back and get $50 off for this year's taxes. Love Awaken. Love everything they're doing over there. Continuing to highlight this and offer it because we believe it is the best product on the market. That being said, Kix, let's take it off a little bit of a weather report here.
You got it, Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Friday, March 6th. Majors down on the day. Bitcoin at 70K, Ethereum at 2K, Solana at 86, Hype at 30. Over the last 24 hours, John Lick was arrested with an assist from Zach XBT for stealing over $46 million in crypto from the U.S. government. He was arrested on the island of St. Martin with help from a French special tactics unit. Next up, AI continues to dominate headlines as Anthropic entered back into talks with the Pentagon to reach an AI model compromise. Their CEO thinks Claude may be sentient. And OpenAI released ChatGPT 5.4. Finally, Backpack US hired Mark Wetjen as their president of their U.S. operations, who is formerly a CFTC acting chairman and head of global policy at the DTCC. That is it for your weather report. Back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Kix. Good hire by Backpack here with their like token to equity model, getting somebody of this caliber for U.S. operations who's like been in and out of regulations, not only like knows what's going on, but probably has contacts that are going to help Backpack navigate this. So Love to see this for backpack. I need to start looking at this backpack token and figuring out like how this is going to play out. This could be one that sneaks up on people, I think. An exchange offering actual equity in the United States. So going to continue to monitor the backpack situation. I really haven't used the exchange or the platform at all, but this is something that just keeps popping up on my radar, and I see them making moves in the right direction. So really interesting to see what's going to go on here. Not sure there's much to add there. What I am curious about is Polymarket Easy. Have you been making any plays? Are you still hammering Elon tweet markets? Are you
He's at
looking at
199. We need no tweet here for the next 2 hours. I'm fucked.
No tweets at all? Are we like
Yeah, you
on
can't
a
go over
line?
200. I need under 200.
Under 200, and this is the March 6th resolution.
Yeah.
When does he normally wake up and start tweeting? I mean, he definitely usually
He's
tweets.
already tweeted 3 times, so I'm in danger.
Chuckles.
I don't know.
I'm in danger.
So you're in 180 to 199.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he's going. I mean, this thing got up pretty high. This thing got up to what, 50% as of midnight.
Yeah, because he went ghost for like 8 hours.
And showed up with a vengeance. Interesting.
Yeah, then popped out and decided to let it fly. But there were some fun mentions yesterday. Trump had the Inter Miami Football Club. We did pretty well on that.
How was that?
Pretty good. I took no on GOAT, greatest of all time, and no on Baron. Baron, I got at like 50 cents.
Interesting.
That was cool.
So what, he like hosted Inter Miami at the White House?
Yep, because they won the championship.
No on Baron. What'd you get Baron at? Wow, why was that so high?
50 cents. Baron played soccer for the U12 team, the like travel team for DC United when he was 12. So there was speculation that he would bring that up. I was like, he has never brought it up previously. Baron also met Cristiano Ronaldo at the White House. I was also on Cristiano Ronaldo. He said Ronaldo and Pele. Pele was free because that's his favorite player. I should have just taken that, but I don't like betting yeses. I'm on like historical no better.
Pele.
Yeah.
So GOAT. You thought he said GOAT for like Messi or something? It was like the thought process here.
But I'm like, dude, he doesn't even know what the fuck GOAT is.
Yeah. This thing got up to 80-some%. Like, did he like approach saying GOAT potentially at some point? Or just like low liquidity?
Probably when he was talking about how Messi was the greatest. He probably said the greatest.
That makes sense. I love how he always finds a way to get the hottest or hot in there.
Like, yeah, every time. Well, he talked about the stock market. He talked about tariffs. Like there were some crazy words in there.
It's hot down in Miami.
The other thing, I haven't like talked too much publicly, but I'm going out to LA next week for the Oscars. So
let's go.
I'm gonna be trading that like pretty aggressively with some on the ground research. I want to get the what will it be said during that. There's a few no's I like on that. And then the Oscars market, a little bit of early alpha on that is Best Actor. You have Timothée Chalamet at 53 cents. I like the no.
So we're looking at Best Actor. The no on Chalamet at 53. So you think it could be Michael B. Jordan? You like the no?
I like the no on
over
it,
the yes on Michael B. Jordan?
What'd you say?
You like the no on Chalamet over the yes on Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah. Yeah. Reason being, Vanity Fair had an interview with Academy people where they got 7 Academy votes who shared who they voted for. 3 voted for Michael B. Jordan, 2 voted for Leo, 1 voted for Timmy, and 1 voted for who was the other one?
Wagner.
1 voted for Wagner Mora. So I, feel like I like those odds.
Taking the yes on Michael B. Jordan.
Because there's still a chance Leo could win it for one battle after another, especially if it wins Best Picture, which it might. So I just like the Timmy no better. You have more outs.
Even if you go yes on Jordan and yes on Leo, isn't that 41 versus 48?
Yeah, but then what if Wagner Mora wins?
I mean, that's such a long shot, right? I guess.
I like the outs.
All right, so no on Timothy Chalamet. That one's interesting. This is one of those complete neg risk markets, so you could buy no and convert if you wanted as well, and then just take some other like a no on Ethan Hawke or sell your Ethan Hawke yes. Interesting stuff there. Any other Oscar markets you're looking at outside of best?
Sean Penn, best supporting is the other one. Best supporting actor. That's 74.
And you're on the yes here.
Yeah, I like Sean Penn to win that.
Nice. This was so you could have gotten this at 50 cents a bit ago. This actually flipped from Stellan Skarsgård to Sean Penn. Interesting. So we saw some sort of flip a couple weeks back, and now Sean Penn being the leader here. All right, so we've got a no on Timothy Chalamet for best actor and a yes on Sean Penn for best supporting actor. Kicks, I know you've been trading some Strait of Hormuz action here. What's been the deal with this market? Because like I thought it was closed. They're saying it was closed. Now they're saying it's not closed. It's at 78% it's going to close by March 31st. What's happening here? What's the resolution? And how have you been trading this?
It's going to come down to what the data says. So if you see in the clarification of the rules, there's a link to Port Watch. So it's going to come down. I think they update it every Tuesday is what they said. So we would expect like next Tuesday it's going to be like the catalyst of how this resolves. The tricky thing is that it says that it's based on vessel transits derived from their AIS data. And so what's happening is ships are crossing in the Strait of Hormuz, but they're flipping their transponder off essentially. So that they're not on the they're on the radar, but they're not on like the AIS. Like they kind of are going pseudo dark, right? You'd have to detect them on radar or whatever like that. So the tricky thing for me is that like even if these things are crossing, if Port Watch only goes off of AIS, it's going to show very little to no crossings. So on Tuesday, this could resolve to yes, but I'm pretty much fully hedged out of that. The biggest trade over the past 2 days was no on new supreme leader of Iran by March 7th. That actually was a nice cook. That's up like 50%.
The next leader or
if they new supreme leader of Iran by. Yeah, this one right here. So like the March 7th was at like 50 or something a couple of days ago, or maybe 40. But Iran just came out and said they just dropped 100 bombs on like a secure area. So they may have just killed all the people that were going to do this election.
Of course.
So
it feels like Mark. Right now, being the supreme leader of Iran is not like the most interesting position to take, especially if you're somebody who is very anti-US.
Yeah, and the kicker on this is that they have to
officially announce a successor.
Yeah.
Just an announcement successor will be sufficient for a yes.
Regardless. Yeah, but what's tricky about it is like they have announced that one, like his son was going to replace him. But I think it has to be like a vote. Like it has to be like it actually has to go through the process of it.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm almost tempted
to like an announcement of an announcement is the son pick. It's going to be his son. That's the announcement of the announcement. We need to vote on that to see if that actually happens.
Exactly. Like I'm almost tempted to sell the 7th and then just like roll the profits into the 15th and just like know that one.
It's not a bad idea.
And just like ride the decay on on the longer dated one. Keep doing that.
Like, what's the benefit of speed for announcing this leader? Like unifying people in Iran? Like, are they going to like rally around? Is it providing them like, is it disincentivizing them from like rebelling? Because I think like, what's the thought process here from like a global / US perspective is like, we're bombing them. They're going to overthrow their government and put in a new, more US friendly government, essentially, right? Like that's like our whole thought process. Or like we get them to come to the table to agree to terms. We have somebody who's like fairly US friendly as the leader.
Yeah, and just Iran voting. No, not like Iran, the people voting. Like there's like a cleric group, like their Congress or whatever voting. But yeah, what the U.S. objective is. I mean, yeah, that's directionally correct. They either want like an overthrowing or they want like these people to come to the table with like Trump saying now he wants unconditional surrender.
So we're looking
but
at
there's I'll give you a free piece of alpha just to everyone in the audience. One thing that I've been looking around at is that some of these markets say the Islamic Republic of Iran in the rule set, right? And if there's an actual regime change, it could be a new right? Like imagine if the United States of America became like the communist country of America. You know what I mean? Like someone took over and changed it, right?
Yeah.
Where like some of these markets, people are like, oh, if Iran agrees to this, it's going to resolve to yes. But if the like this says just Iran in it, see? But there's some markets where it specifically says the Islamic Republic of Iran, right? And if that kind of gets dismantled, it could create really weirdly interesting things. I can try to find you.
I wonder if like it is like if you search for it, it just brings up. It does like search on rule set.
Like this one right here. I think has it.
Yeah, like this one has it. Like next supreme leader of Iran.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're saying here they're no longer the Islamic Republic of Iran, potentially. So the no on everything here could resolve.
Yeah, so I linked you to one, which is like who's going to be the leader end of 2026. And because that's end of 2026, right? You have like
yeah,
this one like they could still be around long enough to elect someone else, but by like the end of 2026, this in the rule set specifically says head of the Islamic Republic of Iran, right? So like if that doesn't exist, then all of these are resolved to no, but there's also like a no leader, I think at 9%. That one is the one I'm long on. Yeah, that one. No head of state.
Gotcha. I mean, so you could just do a no on the favorite and a conversion potentially.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance like no on Kamani. There's a good chance that guy's not alive in a month. Like much less.
The neg risk conversion here doesn't make sense actually, because you're getting yes on everything. You could buy this. I mean, I guess you're getting no head of state.
Exactly.
So a weird scenario where no head of state is also.
But like you could convert the no on Kamani and sell like everybody on this list,
right?
Even the no head of state,
right?
Well, actually, you wouldn't want to do that. That'd make no sense. It'd just be better to sit on the no if that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah. Love thinking through this in real time, trying to figure out the edges here.
Yeah, but there's so many different interesting markets that are Iran adjacent or not. I'm honestly trying to like step away and look at some other stuff because I feel like I'm missing other alpha just by being obsessed on this one thing. I don't know if you guys saw today, payroll came out, huge miss.
So is that why we're dumping? We're looking at like sub 69K Bitcoin now. We've dropped 1,200 since the show started.
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
So the the estimates was like we were going to add like 40 or 50K and we lost 80K. And that's not even on a revision. That's on the initial report for February. But what's interesting for me is it doesn't look like on FedWatch the cut has changed at all. Yeah, non-farm payrolls, actual negative 92K, estimated positive 55K.
Yeah. So
But
down.
then not, and then unemployment rate up, but not seeing any move in the FedWatch.
Interesting. Let's check out the Polymarket odds on rate cut.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like sub 4%.
Hasn't even moved.
Yeah, hasn't moved.
Yeah, and what's weird to me, well, not weird to me, but if you look last year, when we started posting job losses is when they started cutting, right? Like we had cuts, what, September, October, and December, right? October was a negative 70,000 print. August was. And then October was negative 140,000. So while it may not mean a cut in March, it does seem to me that like they cut at least somewhat due to the bad jobs market last year. And now we just got our second worst print. October was worse, but we got our second worst print. And I think the difference here was not just the negative print, but the miss on the consensus.
Yeah. We do see a little bit of movement on this news, like when it dropped at 8:30 on the April decision. A rate cut went from 9 to 12, so a 33% increase.
So it moved up on April, just not on March.
Yeah, March is pretty much a sure thing. And then if we look at like total rate cuts, 2026, we might see a little bit of a move here over the last 6 hours. So when the news was released at 8:30, the odds of no rate cuts dropped from 20%, went down as low as 13 and 14. Yeah. So we can see a little bit of movement on forward-looking rate cuts.
Just not the market I fucking care about that I have a $500 bet on.
You took that one after we talked about it?
No, dude, I took it like I was following this weird. Sometimes I just follow accounts on Polymarket. And I'm like, this guy makes money and he's doing like weird things. And I'll just see like a weird buy that they make and I'll just tail them. So like I tailed someone in on 25 bips, like go back like a month. I tailed them like, yeah, maybe go all time for me real quick. I tailed them in February. You see that big gap up there? Like I got it at there and then it spiked and I like didn't sell much. I only sold like 30%.
Yeah, we talked about this on the show. I actually liked this play. I think we talked about it last week at like this. No, we talked about here like around 1.8. I was like, we could see like a little bit of spike if we get bad CPI or bad job data ahead, and we saw it, but then we're all the way back down. So
back down, that's getting like a little spike. And
I
feel like it's rare for the market to be like I don't know this, but like when's the last time that the market has been surprised by a rate cut?
I want to say like mid last year. There was like some
maybe like the first one that came out.
Yeah, like FedWatch and Polymarket kind of disagreed a little bit last year. Like they weren't like in sync as much.
So it's not as rare as maybe I thought. But yeah, I think that could potentially be why Bitcoin retraced a little bit. But it also may have retraced because the Koreans gapped down like 11%, then gapped back up 12%.
Yeah, that was wild. That was a wild.
Dude, I'm kicking myself because like when I saw the gap down, I looked at the chart on TradingView and it just had like a huge, like they say, like 90% of gaps retrace.
Here's a daily on the Kospi, the Korean Composite Stock Index.
Yeah, you could get a nice little 10% ripper there.
Yeah, dropped 12%, and then over the last 2 days has basically bounced back 10%.
I still think patience is the best thing to do right now because the second year of a presidential term is generally always weak. It was weak for Biden. It was weak for Trump's first term. I still, I mean, I told this story enough that people probably don't even care anymore. But like in 2018, I literally remember being outside of Marshall's the day before Christmas, picking up some like last minute presents. And just remember sitting in my car and looking at my phone, and like the markets were just vomiting. And I longed some of the markets, and it ended up being a good trade. But yeah, I just think, what did Bitcoin do in Trump's second term? First term, second year wasn't good. What did Bitcoin do in Biden's second year of his term? Wasn't good. On both of those, generally, like getting along on those by the end of the year paid out on a decent time horizon. So yeah, I'm just trying it. And it sucks being in cash because your cash is just getting like destroyed by the day. But then it's like I take some of my cash and I go make a trade and I lose 10%. It's like, okay, so I could lose 10% slowly, or I could lose it quickly. So like for me, maybe sitting in cash a little bit until we get closer to the later of the year would be a good move.
Yeah, I mean,
I saw Greeny made a pretty good post, like a fractal post, and he had like the bottom being at like 55K, which is not too far off of here.
Yeah, I mean, everything I see, like looking at, like if you're just extrapolating over past, like the past market and like how we participated here, it's like this 50K mark in October is like what everything points to. But like nothing ever repeats itself exactly. It may like rhyme. I'm trying to find Greeny's fractal right now.
What I'm committing myself to is from now on, like if I say something like that's like macro important, I'm gonna write it in a fucking Google Docs. I'm gonna force myself to read all my predictions every week so that I don't fade myself. Because I literally said in like 2024. I was like, the ETFs look like they pulled forward this bull market by 3 months. So we should pull forward the top by 3 months. And so that would have taken us from October to like September-ish. Or sorry, August-ish. And August was kind of the top. I mean, it was definitely more of the top in alts than maybe Bitcoin, but then that could, but then if you pull that forward 3 months, do you pull forward the bottom from October to August of this year?
Yeah, potentially.
The only thing I do know is that catching a bottom isn't sexy unless it's a V-shaped recovery, and we don't really get V-shaped recoveries in bear markets. So like you just have a whole period of time. Like look at like 2023 to 2024. Like, okay, if you didn't catch the bottom at 15K, do you really care if you bought back in at 24K in like July? You know what I mean? Like when it goes to 100, it's like a 4X versus a 5X. And you probably got in your buy, you have more conviction in at 25K, right? Like you feel like you're out of the woods a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, my entire thought process with this is I framed it as like when we got below 70K here, I started DCAing. I said, you know what? Like if we compare it to last run, it's like something like this. You're happy buying anywhere along this all the way,
exactly.
all the way back up. So I'm just turning on the DCA. I'm going to let the market continue to do what the market does. And I just know that with conviction in Bitcoin, which I think will eventually go up into the right over time, that I'm going to be happy with every buy down what could potentially even go low as this before, coming back up eventually.
Yeah. The DCA thing is just smart because you're not going to tilt yourself, right? You're going to, if it goes down, you're happy. If it goes up, you have positions that you DCA'd in. I think it's a smart strategy and in a way higher probability of holding your position. And then, you try to catch the bottom. Like if you caught this local bottom at like 60K, you feel okay right now. If it goes down to 50, you get shaken out, Yeah.
Like I took the opposite approach and I just lump summed Robinhood here at like 78. where as opposed to DCAing Bitcoin, I just lump summed Robinhood. And I was like, okay, we've hit the bottom already. I don't want.
I like your like pullback things here.
This is easy, all easy on this. He said, draw
Yeah.
this, and it's basically a 50% retrace in 2025, 50% retrace off the high in 2020, late 2025. I said, you know what? I'm confident. I was feeling FOMO this entire way up, and I never bought. I'm just gonna load up here.
Yeah, and like buying here, you're like you're pretty much it's no different than if you bought in January 2025. You know what I mean? Like that's how I like to look at certain things and say, like, is this a good buy or not? And if I like the stock and I'm buying where someone else could buy a couple of years ago, it doesn't seem that bad. You know what I mean? You're definitely buying a pullback, which is smart. And I'm a huge believer in Robinhood. I mean, I think a lot of just the financial structure for retail is pretty antiquated. And Robinhood reminds me of Shopify. Like I was in e-commerce so hard, I kick myself all the time for not buying Shopify when it was like in the 30s in 2016.
Right. And you had these pullbacks where you had opportunities on
100%. Yeah. I mean, like, and like, look at the chart. Exactly. To your point. It's like, it has these big drawdowns, but
I bought Robinhood and it was, this is where we're at right now, even though, we may be going down.
Yeah. But it may not be the 2022 collapse was pretty structurally rare, I would argue.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We're seeing some comments on oil. I'm not tapped into the oil markets. Easy. I saw that you were basically calling the oil long, like on, was it U.S. oil?
Yeah.
Over like $70. Like this looks like it was a big win for you.
Well, I said you take the over 100.
Okay. Yeah, I think
I was like, there's two things that are going to happen here. Either we're going to go back under 65 or over 100. And it was like a straddle, basically, like on an options call. But you don't really have the same Greeks as options. I want to actually find the post to see what price oil was at when I posted that. Oh, I found it. Over 100 was 21%. So that's a 3x.
Let's go.
Yeah, I said there's a 400% return staring you in the face. If the Strait of Hormuz officially closes, oil will go above 100%, over $100. If it doesn't, then this rise is fear-driven and will sell off. So I think it would drop back under 65. 65 was trading at also 20-ish cents. So you could have bought the 2 for a clean 2x and just played the straddle on the extremes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So either one. So you basically like took the opposite of the middle. You went with the outside. Easy stuff. So this is what are the dates on this?
Yeah, and here's the thing, like if you're old like easy and you made a lot of money and you're trying to just make like a little bit of gains, you long oil. If you're really trying to make money, a week ago you longed South Korean jet fuel.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day though, the same thing I've been yapping about is you just long uranium until the wheels fall off. That's just been the play.
Applications like AI energy and stuff too.
You just long uranium.
Korean jet fuel went from 80 to 240 in 3 days.
That is pretty wild.
How do you buy Korean jet fuel? I have no idea.
Did you see that guy, by the way, who's up like billions of dollars just longing AI infrastructure plays?
The 24-year-old San Fran.
Yeah,
he's actually married to Anthropic's chief of staff.
Yeah, so he worked at OpenAI. He got fired.
Let me find this. He was like a whistleblower, right? On security.
Yeah, he looks like the guy. He has massive lips, very pale. He looks like exactly the kind of person that would run a $500 million fund at $5.5 billion in 2 years. But he's like super long core weave. He's long a bunch of Bitcoin mining companies.
Where'd that show up?
His name is like Jorben Lorbenheimer Sire.
Jorben Lorbenheimer? Jordan?
24-year-old fund, 5.5 billion. Let's see his name.
5.5 billion is a good one.
Leopold Aschenbrenner.
Leopold Aschenbrenner.
I was close on my guess. And look at it. My physiognomy is good, right? Scroll. Pale, huge lips.
Yeah, perfect. Let's read this timeline. Age 19 graduates.
Imagine kissing that guy with lips like that.
Age 19 graduates Columbia as a valedictorian. That's wild. 22. He's 22 now. He joins OpenAI's super alignment team. He gets fired the same year for raising AI safety concerns.
That's hilarious.
A year later, he publishes a manifesto on AGI. He launches a hedge fund with $225 million. The next year, he returns 47% in 6 months. And now at age 25, he has $5.5 billion in equity exposure. Here's his equity list. He has call options on Intel.
But he's been dumping his Intel and like Nvidia. I guess he now has a put on Nvidia, and then he's long the other stuff.
Core Scientific, Iron. I think he bought BitDeer. He's like repurposing Bitcoin mining companies for AI compute.
AI. Yeah. Which PO was early to.
Yeah. Pio's been big on, Iron. I don't know if he's been big on Mara, but I know Iron's been a big one for him, and he's been talking about a couple others on the show as well. But yeah, I think we see more and more of that, and I think you've raised concerns like, what does this mean for Bitcoin when the miners are more profitable in the AI realm?
Yeah. Bullish ETH, I guess.
Yeah, bullish ETH. Proof of stake. Yeah, is that the new ultrasound money? We'll see. See what else we got to talk about. I've got a number of quick hitters I'm going to run through right now. You can,
wait, sorry, real quick.
Yep.
Another thing, right, where I said this was probably a good buy, and I never fucking did it. Have you seen Venice token?
Yeah.
You guys talked about it already? Okay.
We've talked about it briefly. I don't know enough about it. I know that it's
6x did 6x since December.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's been crazy. We've talked about VVV before in like a privacy way, but it's more like shifted to privacy X AI now, where they're offering like private AI compute essentially.
Yeah, it's always been that.
It was always AI compute. It wasn't.
It's basically like on-chain AI compute that's like fully private. So like you just buy you buy VVV and you stake it and you get like a certain amount of usage of AI compute. It's actually like a phenomenal thing if you like think about and a really strong use case for like crypto. Like this does tie into the privacy meta, right? Or just privacy in general, which is like, do you like the difference between using ChatGPT and telling it everything and it knows everything about you versus like, you have a weird growth on your left ball sack. Maybe you run that query through VVV, right? So that OpenAI doesn't know that about you.
Right, for insurance, and they say, hey, you asked OpenAI about this. Can you get this screened before we offer you insurance?
Exactly. So, I mean, it's a cool product. It makes sense. I wish I had bought it when I liked it, but,
I mean, we talked about this a number of times. This is clean 6x off the bottoms. Because I think we like this is one that like went wild off the launch on base. It was kind of like stealth, and then it just pulled back. I think we probably
and everyone talked so much shit about these guys when it launched because they were like the team was selling. And then now it's like the hottest trade of the last 3 months. So crypto never fails.
So hot right now.
The team that built this thing is making money selling their shares. Bastards.
I'm going to run through some quick hitters now. You can find all of these at dailybones.com, where you can sign up for our daily newsletter. You get all this information, short, concise, to your inbox every single weekday with an aggregation on the weekends with the most important stories. The SEC ended its case against Justin Sun. Visa, Fidelity, and others completed a pilot program for cross-border settlement powered by Chainlink. Maybe we'll check that token out after this. Dubai's regulatory agency says KuCoin has been operating illegally and asked them to stop operating in Dubai. Vancouver city staff looks to kill a Bitcoin reserve bill. There's an exploit that's targeting old iOS devices that will allow them to drain crypto wallets. So make sure you update your iOS devices. The IRS is going to allow crypto exchanges to send tax forms electronically. A federal court ordered Trump to refund over $130 billion in collected tariffs. U.S. jobless claims yesterday came in slightly below estimates. Coinbase faced delays processing Solana transactions yesterday, and the USD AI chip sale closed raising $19.4 million for that TGE. All of this and more, dailybones.com. Sign up today to get your crypto news each and every day. Absolutely free. I do want to look at Chainlink. We continue to see like interesting like stories for Chainlink. It was a pretty big story, and like an interesting narrative, but it's been pretty much down only for quite a bit. This thing traded as high as $28. It's now down below $9. I must have had these ranges drawn. I don't even know what these ranges are. Maybe it's kind of like some levels of support from previous runs, but we are at lows we haven't seen since 2023, 2024 right now. We've been consolidating in this range for a couple weeks now. Any interest in Chainlink? I think Chainlink was one that you were interested in a while
I've always
ago.
liked Chainlink. I still think Chainlink's a good buy.
Yeah, because this feels like one that could like be a token that surprises people and comes out of nowhere to go on like a pretty big run. And you're looking at a 3x just to get to the last local high from August.
It's almost fully diluted by this point too.
Are you looking at market cap, like how much supply is out there?
Yeah, like I just like tab between market cap and price, and you can kind of see the emissions over time.
Yeah. It's number 15 token right now by market cap. I mean, it's not like it's.
I want to buy Worldcoin once this shit stops diluting so hard.
Worldcoin,
I mean, that's
why?
like, isn't that like always dilution? Like as people are born, more Worldcoin will get minted or no?
I don't know. I haven't looked into the tokenomics. You could be right. Why Worldcoin? Because that's the only way we're going to know if you're getting catfished by AI or not in a couple of years.
Fair. What if I want to be catfished by AI?
Well, then you can use Worldcoin to ensure you are.
Ooh, what if I don't want to be catfished by AI?
First answer.
What if I enjoy the
You're such
potential
a
that
little
it is real?
freak, Easy. I knew you were kinky like this.
Price has been down since a peak in September.
Robot Felicia.
It's a wild run. It went from under like 2x in 2 weeks in September. That had to be a massive announcement from OpenAI about this. Looking at the market cap, doesn't look as bad as the price does because, like Kick says, there's dilution happening. It's more flat on market cap side of things, and the market cap is at 1.1 bill. I do like this play. I also like. We had SERP on earlier this week.
Yeah, that's what kind of triggered it for me.
Yeah, it's kind of like a similar trade if you can get into like an ethos token whenever they TGE. But yeah, this sort of thing, proof of humanity, I think is an unexplored meta that we haven't quite hit yet. And Worldcoin feels like a good way to express that as a trade.
Wow. BlackRock limiting withdrawals, gaps down 4% of the open.
What? That doesn't sound great.
Rat row.
What just happened?
Rat row. Hey, as long as it kills Carvana, right?
Why do you hate Carvana?
Because I'm short. That's why.
Like their product's actually good.
Private credit fund.
I agree, Easy, but there's a difference between their product being good and their product justifying a $70 billion market cap.
It should be higher.
No. Why would it be higher? Have you looked into what they did, dude?
They buy and sell cars.
No, they buy cars at auction, then they sell them at like 15% APRs to people that shouldn't be buying the car, and then they repo the car. And then they sell the loan bundled up package to the CEO's dad's company. And then they book it as a profit.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome.
6% down. Big gap on BlackRock.
What could possibly go wrong, dude?
If they're limiting redemptions, so that means people can't dump crypto out of it, right?
It's a private credit fund.
They're Bitcoin ETFs.
It's a private credit fund.
Lovely. So we're going to see a huge drop in Bitcoin ETS in. What's Stretch doing on that news?
Stretch is stretching, dude.
This has been have we talked about this yet, Kix? Have you been on when I've been talking about Stretch?
Yeah,
This thing's been awesome.
like 4 times.
I kind of want to flip where I'm at on
Let's
Bless
market. I like this at like 30%. I kind of like the know that they're not going to acquire 20K more Bitcoin this month. Now I like the know on this almost.
Ooh, I like this. I like this.
You go the other direction on this. Stretch
20K by March would be a lot, right? Have they already announced some buys? Maybe that's impacting it.
Okay, so I can go to their site. We can look at it. So they have, as of now, not including buys from this week. So this week would need to be included here. They have 720K Bitcoin this week. So like there's 4 more buys. There's the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th. So 4 more buys will be announced. You need to average 5,000 Bitcoin per buy. I think this month, and this is part of my thesis on taking it earlier, this month will probably get above that 5K average, but there's nothing to say that that's going to continue, and the strength of Stretch is going to continue. Stretch has been volatile.
You just have to hope he doesn't do what he did in January, December, where he had like back-to-back 5-fig purchases.
Yeah, and I think right now all of the Bitcoin buying pressure is coming from Stretch's success at $100 par, being at this $99.50 to $100 they can sell at the market, use this volume, and this has been generating like an estimated like 700 Bitcoin a day. There's a cool site, Stretch.live, that basically estimates how much Bitcoin.
So what's 700 times 30? 21,000.
Yeah, it's enough, but the math isn't mathing for me that they're going to get like at a 75% chance of getting another 20K Bitcoin. I don't know. So
you tell me this is a good no, and I'm with you on it, and then you share me all of this data that makes me think that the market's pricing it right.
Idiot.
I don't think, but the thing is, like, it all depends on Stretch staying at this level, and it's historically never done that.
Fucking dummy.
This basically means this has to continue for the rest of March.
With like none of those little gappy wappies?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we have like this has been the strongest it's been. Maybe we've hit exit velocity on Stretch, like getting into mainstream, and people are like understanding how the 11.5% interest works, and like they're okay with the risk tolerance. Or maybe we see a pullback in Bitcoin and macro, and then this thing just tanks, and then they don't have this capital flow to buy Bitcoin. So I like flipping to the no here from the yes. We talked about the yes earlier in the week at 30%, all the way up to 70% now. But I kind of like flipping no here. I think we'll probably accumulate in the like 6 to 8K range for this week, and then we'll have to see what happens going forward. But that's my thought process on that one. Any other markets you're interested in? Any other prediction markets, token markets, anything before we wrap?
No, I'm being patient on stocks and crypto.
Pretty much same here. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. It's been another wonderful episode of the Daily Bone Podcast. We do this podcast Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can catch us on all major podcasting platforms. Catch us on Spotify, Apple. Also catch us streaming live video on YouTube and Zura.